Hey friends, it's Aubrey. In today's video, I am showing you 4 Instant Pot soup recipes that you can make for your family in under 30 minutes. Thank goodness it's fall. Soup season is my favorite. If you love soup videos and recipe ideas, definitely hit that subscribe button. I will be sharing lots of soup recipes throughout the coming months as it gets colder, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Let's get cooking. Tonight we are making chicken and gnocchi soup. Here are the ingredients. Let's get cooking. The first thing we are going to add is 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and then we're going to add in half of a white onion, diced. I actually used a yellow onion, worked out just fine. We're going to turn the saute function on and get the onions cooking. Next, I'm adding in some salt and pepper to taste using my little pepper hack. Next, we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of thyme and then about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. You can add more or less depending on how much garlic you like in your soups. We're going to cook the garlic along with the onions and the spices for about 30 additional seconds or until the garlic becomes fragrant. Next, we'll add in 1 stalk of celery chopped. Mine was frozen, worked out just fine. And then we'll add in about a half cup of shredded carrots. I ended up just putting some baby carrots in my food processor and making them into smaller chunks, and it turned out great. Next, we're going to add in 2 cups of chicken broth. Mine was in the freezer. It's some homemade chicken broth. Next, I'm adding in some pre-cooked rotisserie chicken, and then we will add in a half package of gnocchi. I should have mentioned earlier, but I am doing a half recipe. I'll be sure to link the full recipe in the description box for you in case you want to make the full recipe for your family. Now we're going to cook this in our Instant Pot, making sure that the knob is turned to sealing. We will go ahead and press the manual button and cook it for 1 minute. You can do a quick release or let it sit for a little bit, whatever you prefer. I always put a towel over mine while it's releasing the steam so it doesn't get everywhere. And then we'll open it up and add in a cup of half and half. I ended up doing a half cup of milk and a half cup of whipping cream. And then I stirred that together and put it into the soup. And then next we're just going to add in about a half of a cup of spinach. You can chop it up if you prefer smaller spinach chunks. But this turned out so good. I definitely recommend it for your family. Everybody in our family loved it, and it was so flavorful. And we had it with some nice bread. It's also made really good leftovers for the next day. In my heart, it is soup season, even though it's 80 degrees today. So we are gonna make some broccoli cheddar soup. We're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of butter and turn the Instant Pot onto the saute function. Once the butter has melted, we will add in our onion. Gonna add in 1 medium onion chopped. You can do it finely or roughly, it just kind of depends on your preference. I did a little bit more fine chop and just used my little Ninja food processor. I'll go ahead and link this one down below for you, or one similar to it. It is one of my favorite kitchen tools. The recipe didn't call for garlic, but I love garlic, so I went ahead and added in 3 cloves. And it made the soup so flavorful. Next, we're gonna add in 3 cups of chicken broth. This is some homemade chicken broth that I made. I do have a video showing how to make this. I'll link that for you here. Next, we'll add in about 4 cups of chopped broccoli florets. You can do it bigger or smaller, kind of up to you. And then we're gonna add in 2 to 3 celery ribs diced and 2 to 3 large carrots grated or diced. I did mine in the food processor. We're going to give this a quick stir just to make sure that everything's more or less covered by the liquid. And then we're going to put our Instant Pot lid on, make sure our knob is turned to sealing, and then we will go ahead and use the pressure cook or manual button for 1 minute, and this will get the soup fully cooked. While the soup is cooking, we are going to melt 1/4 cup of butter and add 1/4 cup of flour together. We're going to stir that until it's nice and well combined. The soup cooked, and now I'm just going to move this from sealing to venting. I'm going to cover this with a piece of cloth, probably just like a kitchen towel or whatever. That way it doesn't spray all over my cabinets. And then once the pin drops here in the back, it'll be safe to open, and then we will mix in the rest of the ingredients. You can also let this naturally release if you would like, but it is crunch time. We need to have dinner soon, so we're just gonna go ahead and move it over and let it vent. Now that the pressure has fully released, it's safe to open up the lid. So we're gonna open that up and give everything a quick stir just to make sure it is all the way cooked through, and it was. Now we're going to add in our butter and flour mixture and just give the soup a nice stir to get that thickening up the soup. Definitely recommend grating your own cheddar cheese. I took the shortcut today and it did not turn out as good as it probably would have, but it still turned out great. So we added in 8 ounces of sharp cheddar cheese, stirred that around until it melted. And then we added in 2 cups of milk just to completely thicken up and fatten up this soup. Trust me, this one is so good. And then you'll add in some additional salt and pepper to taste, just to whatever your preference is. And I always like to kind of under season it. That way at the table, people can season it how they like. And I love this pepper hack for these specific salt shakers, just rubbing the salt one on the bottom of the pepper shaker. It makes the pepper come out way faster. Here is the finished soup. We just served this with some little non-bread side gotten on clearance, and they made a great little way to dip into the soup. This was super good. You can add extra cheese to it if you would like, or serve it with crackers, but definitely a hit in our house. We'll definitely be making this one again soon. Here are all of the ingredients for the coconut curry soup minus the spinach and cilantro. The first thing you'll do is add in a tablespoon of butter, ghee, or olive oil. I chose olive oil. And then you'll add in about a half cup of onion chopped. Next, you'll add in a tablespoon of curry powder, or more, depending on how spicy you want yours to be. I went a little overboard. It ended up being just fine, just a little spicier. Next, we're gonna add in about 3/4 teaspoons of salt, and then about a half teaspoon of pepper, again, using my little pepper hack. And then you'll add in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. Get that cooking with the saute function on. And then you'll add in 1 pound of chicken cubed. I will mention that I'm making a half recipe again. I'll be sure to link the full recipe in the description box for you. The next thing we're going to add in is 2 cups of chicken broth. Again, had some homemade chicken broth in my freezer that I wanted to use up. And then we're going to add in about 1 tablespoon of minced ginger. And the next thing we're adding in is a half cup of diced tomatoes, and then we're going to stir this all together. I'm letting the rest of my chicken broth kind of melt before we put the lid on and turn it to sealing, to turn on the Instant Pot for about 5 minutes on manual pressure. After that cooked, I did another quick release with a cloth over my Instant Pot, and then once the pin dropped in the back, it was time to open it up and add in a half cup of coconut milk. And then I added in about a half cup or so of some spinach, and then about a 1/4 cup of cilantro. I just tore it up with my hands because I didn't want to get another dish dirty. And then once that was done, we just stirred it together to make sure it was well combined. We served this over some rice, and you could definitely add in additional coconut milk at the table, or peanuts or pineapple or whatever else you like in your curry. This turned out so good. We'll definitely be making this one again because everyone in the family loved it, even the baby. Next one is the creamy potato soup. We absolutely love this one. We make it at least once a week during the winter. So first we're going to add in 3 cups of chicken broth. Next we're going to add in 2 ribs of chopped celery. The next thing we'll do is about a cup of chopped carrots, and then 4 to 6 medium potatoes depending on size. Next, we're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder and 1 teaspoon of dried parsley. After you add in the teaspoon of parsley, you're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. Next, we'll add in some salt and pepper to taste. I normally do about 1.5 teaspoons of salt and then a teaspoon of pepper. Now we're just gonna stir everything together to make sure that it's well combined and that all of the potatoes are mostly covered, if not fully submerged, in the chicken broth. Go ahead and put the lid on, make sure that the knob is turned to sealing, and then we will use the manual or pressure cook button and set the timer for 3 minutes. I forgot to add in 2 cloves of minced garlic, so I quickly added that in and then reset the Instant Pot for 3 minutes. Did a quick release and then added in 1 cup of heavy cream mixed with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, stirred that into the soup and let it thicken up on the saute function. This is great with added bacon, cheese. You could even add sausage in when it's cooking. This is one of our favorite soups. We eat this all the time. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope you did enjoy. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I will be sharing lots more soup recipes and other pantry cooking and fun videos coming up for you. So definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!